to Marketing Monday on Monday, October 3rd. Time to cover all the wins and fails this week in marketing and business. And we've got quite a few of them, kicking off with a massive, massive fail. I hate to start with a fail, but it has to be done. Wait, let me get all my, let's just do all the links first. Save fucking time. Has to be done, dude. We're starting with a fail because of all of the broke talk fucks over at the SEC who have paper hands and are suing Kim Kardashian for simply promoting a great and cool token called Ethereum Max. Okay? Ethereum Max, which is currently worth like 1/1,000,000th of a penny. But when she promoted it, it was worth far more and immediately sold. Obviously, she is telling people to hold for the long term to get their diamond hands in, and the SEC is getting mad because they have paper hands and they want to sell, and they're actually suing her for $1.26 million. So this is a massive, massive fail, completely unfair, just because she said, quote, she basically buried the sponsor disclosureship in a wall of hashtags, a mini little hashtag in there, and then said, quote, this is not financial advice, but I'm just sharing what my friends told me about how great Ethereum Max is. On her Instagram stories that hit an estimated 1/5 of all Americans. She put out Instagram stories that hit, I don't know, something like 30 to 40 million Americans were seeing this. And apparently that's bad. Apparently, like, pumping and dumping a crypto token and hiding that you were paid $250 million to promote it is bad. If that's a crime, lock me up and throw away the key. You know what I'm saying? Did anyone tell FaZe? But you know what's worse about this is a double fail. This is a rare double fail because I'm giving a fail to the SEC for punishing our queen and one of the most oppressed families in the country, the Kardashians. But I'm also giving a double fail for the sexism of allowing this motherfucker
with 4 simple words that have been whispered by the intrepid since the time of the Romans. Fortune favors the brave.
This motherfucker's walking away scot-free. Where's Matt Damon's fine, brother? All right, let me give a win, though. You know what? I'll give a win because I don't want to start off with too much negativity. It's a fail that this happened. But here's a win. Every so often in the course of human history, a leader comes along. A leader who can give a speech that will shift the course of history, that will change the face of the generation. Maybe back in the day, it might have been Martin Luther King's I Have a Dream speech. Abraham Lincoln's Gettysburg Address. Today, we have an even better speech than all of that. Last week, I talked about the release of the Roblox Walmart land. But all I did was show you pictures. I did not show you the inspiring oration by Walmart Chief Marketing Executive for the opening, William White. Here he is taking the stage to an audience of a single person.
Hey everyone, for those of you who may not recognize me as a Robloxian, I'm William White, Chief Marketing Officer at Walmart. And welcome to Walmart Land. We are so excited for you to explore and enjoy one of Walmart's newest digital experiences on Roblox, making the best of Walmart's aisles virtual. We've launched Walmart Land with the next generation of customers in mind and are thrilled to be able to meet them where they are and on their terms.
William
This is
White.
Walmart like you've never seen it.
Yeah.
We hope you take some time today to discover the immersive experiences throughout Walmart Land, including Electric Island, inspired by our best music and entertainment offerings in-store and online, and House of Style, featuring the latest in fashion and beauty.
Hell yeah.
Within Walmart Land, we invite you to outfit your avatar in the latest and coolest Verge from Free Assembly, Skull Candy, and more.
Bro said Verch. Fucking 58-year-old fucking CMO of Walmart. Dropping a
All at the
Verch.
hub. Take a ride on the physics-defying Ferris wheel to see incredible views from the world above. Unlock tokens and badges by playing games and
Fuck
completing
yeah.
hobbies. And explore all that Walmart Land has to offer. There's truly something for everyone. Now go explore and enjoy.
Hell yes, brother! Hell yes! Dude, it's completely empty. Yes! This is probably one of my favorite videos I've ever seen in my entire life. This is what marketing's about. The part, my favorite line, underrated line from that whole video, by the way, is the part at the beginning when he goes, "Some of you might not know who I am." As if any Robloxian is aware of the chief marketing officer of Walmart. Oh, of course. Oh, that shit's fire. That's gas, and that's amazing win. Now, unfortunately, I must pivot to a fail. I hate to have to do this, but this is a fail. I'd like to give a fail. It's a sad day for some of the hardest working investors in our country. Nancy Pelosi's husband, Trump's son-in-law, Ted Cruz's cousins. Unfortunately, it seems to me like the ban they are proposing on stock trading for Supreme Court justices and congresspeople is going to include their family, their friends and family. Oh, even though they are hardworking, intelligent investors with Warren Buffett's track record who just happen to be married or connected to congresspeople. How is that fair? There's no possible way they could have insider information. This is ridiculous. But unfortunately, it is true. Up until this point, it's been unclear whether friends and family would be included, but now it seems that it will. Spouses and dependent children. Not friends, sorry, just family. This is too far. This is a step too far. And we'll see whether it actually plays out, but realistically, this bill's looking actually kind of helpful. Hopefully it goes through. Now, if you want to trade like Nancy Pelosi or Ted Cruz, I recommend taking a look at the amazing stock trading app, Public. Fantastic. Where maybe you can't follow Nancy Pelosi's trades anymore because she'll be barred from doing it, but you can follow a lot of people's trades, including my own. Public.com/Atrioc. Please check it out. It is a excellent stock trading app that I use myself to check out my portfolio. It has a much more ethical business model than its competitor, and it is a clean, easy-to-use interface. Allows you to track and follow all of your portfolio and major stocks, including cool, up-to-date news information on latest happenings in stocks. I find a lot of cool pieces of business news in there, which is nice. And you can follow people. So it's pretty great. I'll recommend check it out. Public.com/Atrioc. They've just added. Now, I literally told them I will not be mentioning these two things since I don't recommend investing in any of them. But they did add some cool stuff around collectibles and physical art. For example, let me see. alts. Yeah, they did add, like, you can invest in a first edition Harry Potter book. You can invest in an Hermes Birkin bag or sneakers or a Banksy. As long as you think these, like a first edition comic book, like physical NFTs, which actually have some real value to collect, like Charizard. You can buy a piece of them, and if the value of this item goes up, then you can sell it for a higher piece. So you can have pieces of actual, again, ignore the non-fungible stuff, but there is fungible stuff, which is kind of an interesting idea, especially because a lot of this stuff, as millennials age into their prime earning years, is actually rising in value quite a bit. So it's interesting. Like Harry Potter book 1 is not a crazy thing that I could buy like a small piece of and check it out. Once we have like the first millennial billionaires, some of that shit's going to go for crazy. Fungible is the operative word. Please do not check out the non-fungible stuff, but the fungible stuff is pretty interesting. They have an original Super Mario Brothers cartridge. They've got the Nintendo World Championship cartridge. There's some cool stuff. So check it out. But mostly they just have a great place to trade stocks, which is what I use it for. Puppet.com/Atrioc. Check it out. Thanks again for supporting Marketing Money. They've been a long-time supporter. They support, like, I don't know, many, many months now, which I super appreciate. Thanks again to Public. And thanks again for supporting the show. But that is a win, and I need to counterbalance that, of course, with a fail, of which there is no shortage. There is actually no shortage this week. Lots to talk about. Oh, wait a minute. This isn't a fail. This one's a win. You know what? I saved you guys. I actually have 2 wins for you, if you can believe it. I have 2 wins for you, and both of them are ways for you to make great money. It seems like week after week, I'm finding you guys excellent ways to make money, and none of you are thanking me. I don't know if that's a you thing or what. I have got 2 amazing ways for you guys to make easy cash. All right? Wait, did this get deleted? Oh, no. It was such a funny tweet. Why would you delete it? Oh, that's back. Never mind. Okay. Here it is. Number 1.
Got to film like
simply become the world's biggest YouTuber.
One billionaire really wanted
and
me
then
to
get
say,
a billionaire
hi.
to pay you $250,000 to say hi to their kid.
I'm not gonna go in depth, but someone wanted me to say
Like a video
something
of hi
to
or go pull
like
up?
video hi to kid, and so it like I was just like, I mean, I just don't care. I got to film. Like no, and then he was like, price, name a price. I was like, $250,000, and he was like, sure. I was like,
let's
my
go!
God. And so
There
it was
we
like,
go.
It was like a 1-minute video. This one billionaire really wanted me.
So I don't know why you guys haven't thought of that, but that's an easy way. Like that's a massive way to make money. Because think about it, that's only like a minute of work and you're making $250,000. So you have a lot, it's like you save a lot of time. Like a lot of you are working for dollars per hour, and it's like, think about more dollars in a minute. Are you guys, this is like, just write that down. Easy way to do it. And that definitely is not a symbol of a problem when there are those in this country who have so much wealth they can easily throw around $250,000 on a cameo for their kid. That is not a symbol of a problem at all. That is a healthy working economy. I love to see that. Let me give you guys another option. All right. Maybe this one's a little more up your alley. Maybe actually this one can lead to the second one. If you guys are looking for a job, as I know many of you are, it's definitely a tough time sometimes to find a job in this market. Guess who's got a job for you? Jack in the Box is calling all creators to find out if you have what it takes to stream for Jack in the Box as Jack. This is a $90,000 a year job. They will buy you a $10,000 computer at becomegamerjack.com. They want a full, all you have to do is wear this hat and I guess play probably fucking Roblox or something. Is this why you quit? Yeah, I quit before even I got the job. I just figured I'd get it. I told my boss at NVIDIA, listen, they're going to want me over at Gamer Jack. It's like when people quit for League of Legends and they haven't got a team yet. They will pick the worst possible guy. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see who they pick. They should get Prezzo. I would love to see Prezzo as Gamer Jack, bro. That would be the biggest dub. Anyway, if both those things don't work out for you, I don't know what you guys are not trying hard enough, because I've given you 3 amazing ways to make money. Public.com, Charizards, and 2 jobs. Now it's time for fails, okay? It's time for fails, and I have to get back to it. Wait, sorry, I have one more. I actually have one more job for you, and then we'll get to a fail. And this job, my friend, is a dream job. For those of you who are a little more politically minded, this job just went up, and it is to become Lego's top DC lobbyist. Now, you might think, why would Lego, a children's toy company, need a government lobbyist, let alone a team of them? Well, guess what? They do. And you could get paid big to go to Washington and spend money to bribe politicians to, I guess, benefit Lego in some way. Good economy. Good system. Every company should have a big lobbying team to have to function. That is good. That is right. That is great. Yes. Now, please join. You can even wear this cool chicken suit. Which I don't know why. I don't know why their symbol for this job is a man in a giant chicken suit, but that could be you. So I got you guys jobs, and I got you guys money, all right? You stop pressing me. Speaking of Lego, I got a bit of Lego news for you. You guys know I've been covering Russia's continued split from the West. Ever since Russia declared war on Ukraine, major Western businesses have been pulling out of the country. Pizza Hut, McDonald's, et cetera, et cetera. Lego was no stranger to this. Lego pulled out of Russia, and Russia, not wanting to lose access to this beloved children's toy, has created World of Cubes. These are literally Legos. They are taking them from the factories, and they are just rebranding them as World of Cubes. Massive success here in Russia. Okay. They will take place of all certified Lego shops and sell Lego products. They will just be called World of Cubes, including popular Harry Potter and Star Wars ranges. Russians do make do. The Ukraine set is going to go crazy. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see about that. Business in Russia seems easy. Oh, this is literally, like, we're all joking about this. This is literally how China has done it for the past 20 years. Because Western companies can't compete there. So the best plan was just to find something that works elsewhere, copy it wholesale, and make a ton of money. It's like genius. As long as you fucking cut off anyone from competing, you can just literally duplicate and then make a fucking massive homegrown competitor. Okay. I counted that as a win, right? Good. Let me give you another win. And this is why I'm actually wearing... No, actually, we'll get to that. Let's I want to give a win to this little story. This little story in 3 parts. Okay? This is a story in 3 parts. Kind of like a 3-act play. Okay. Part 1. A man on Twitter with no followers tweets at another account saying, "Oh no, my publicly traded company with 6,000 employees is going to go bankrupt because of a UCLA comp sci student summer Apple internship product. RIP DocuSign." Basically, Vala Ashtar here posted a cool thing about how iPhones can scan and sign documents. And then this guy made a joke about it at DocuSign. Document dispense. That's part 1. Part 2 is DocuSign got in this guy's comments. DocuSign was so scared of this tweet, they jumped in the comments and said, "Funny, not funny." Haha, funny, not funny. Please don't use this for any real business agreements, okay? Contracts signed with e-signature come with a very secure electronic record. Backend technology records the IP address of the signer, as well as the time and date of the document was signed. Okay? It's not very funny at all. And then part 3 was a day later. DocuSign laid off 100 employees. So, hundreds of employees. Funny, not funny. Funny, not funny. I like this tweet, which was DocuSign employees fighting for their lives in the Twitter comments. Yeah. Did I have it? Yeah. Anyway, you see it. How the fuck do they have 7K employees? I mean, listen. Like every company that had one amazing year in 2021, basically the pandemic happened. Everybody was forced to stay at home, and got a bunch of printed money, and all tech companies did well. And so they thought this is the time to hire. Like this will go on forever, and they all did it. And DocuSign, which doesn't even have like a fucking good moat, like it's very easily duplicatable, and this Apple update is already going to put out their main use case out of business, is now floundering. And they're completely collapsing. I think DocuSign stock is down 78% in the past year. So buy the dip. Buy the dip, my friends. I'm sure we can turn this around. I'm sure things will. We just need a second or third pandemic, and this thing's going back to the moon. I just look. I mean, there's no better sign of desperation than a company literally getting to scrap it out in the DMs. That's what's crazy about this. Doing this is like a massive bat signal that this is actually something you're nervous about. I would never, ever, ever, ever recommend doing this. But I'll tell you what I do recommend, and that is does anyone have this video? And that is staying off TikTok, my friends. If you happen to be an Apple procurement VP who makes millions and millions of dollars a year, okay? Because this guy was, those TikToks that go around and ask people with nice cars what they do for a living? Does anyone have this video, the core video? I'd love to show it off. So this guy was at a car show right here, driving around in like his fucking $500,000 Mercedes-Benz McLaren. And the guy asked him, what do you do for a living? And he said, I fondle large-breasted women. Which, I think he was trying to be funny. The problem is it got millions and millions of views. And he has many, many female employees and is a VP of one of the biggest companies, if the biggest company in the world. And so they fired him pretty immediately. His name is Blevins. He could be Ninja's dad. So thankfully, he's still good on money. Let me see here. Wins and fails. Sheesh. Here's another... another tech company, big dub. So I was looking at LinkedIn. We were actually making a post about off-brand, trying to drumming up some stuff on LinkedIn around off-brand. I think Nick ended up posting it. And on LinkedIn, happened to notice a lot of jobs were posted exactly 3 days ago. From Uber for cybersecurity. A lot of them. 3 days ago. Actively recruiting. All of them at the same time. Very, very interesting. I wonder what possibly could have happened 3 days ago. At Uber to require a massive hiring of 80 plus cybersecurity roles at once. Maybe you should have hired them before all of the stuff got hacked. That's just my thought. That's my first take. So I'll give a big win there for thinking about the next time. Big win for thinking about the future, planning ahead. Now, I'll give another win too. We'll just back up win to win. I want to give an actual win to this guy. I'm going to do a win and a fail in the world of business. 2 good business ideas, actually. Well, no, do 1 good, 1 bad. All right? So recently, over the course of the pandemic, 2 business ideas popped up. One of them, pretty simple, did good. One of them, not so much. We'll start with the W. This is an actual W. This guy bought some mall space and created a company called Smash Heaven, where basically you can play Smash Bros with your friends for $9. It's fun. They just set up all the Smash games, and then you pay $9, and you can go to a mall, and parents can drop their kids off here, and it's just like a fun little business idea. Now, Nintendo will probably sue them to the ground, but for now, it seems fun. They have a for fun area. They have a competitive area. They host tournaments every day. It's a cool idea. Good for them. Nintendo, please let them live. But good idea. Did well. This is nice. Went to a mall. People liked it. So that's a dub. Secondly, there was another company. Now this company's a little bigger and had a little bit more of a budget behind it, but it's also in the world of gaming. And that company was Google. And that product was Stadia. Now, I don't know about you, but they really spent a lot of money and time on the launch of Stadia. But it's not fair to them, okay? It's not fair. There's no chance they could have succeeded because they had the worst timing. Who the hell thought it would be a good idea to launch a gaming service during a pandemic where everybody's stuck at home? Ugh! How would that ever work? How would that ever work? And of course, it was even worse, double whammy, that every single GPU was sold out, so nobody could buy a high-end PC, so they had to turn to the cloud. Oh, what terrible timing! What terrible timing! There's no way this could have succeeded in a fucking best possible environment of all time for the launch of a cloud gaming service. Everything went wrong. And if they couldn't make it work during that, I don't think they'd be set for anything else. So Google's cloud gaming service Stadia will shut down on January 2023. They're refunding all hardware, DLC, and software purchases for users. Everything should be refunded if you purchase Stadia. It is a complete disaster. There is no long-term success. Nobody was really using it, and it was causing them, they were spending a lot of money on it. I kind of wanted to look into why this thing was failing because, again, cloud gaming itself its adoption is trending up, though not nearly as fast as Stadia would have liked. Why did Stadia flop so spectacularly while other cloud gaming services are still in business? And for that, I found a very interesting talk about the way Google does promotions being a huge factor. And this guy, Peter Yang, put out a pretty good tweet about it. Basically, here it was. To understand this, you have to understand how Google works. The career progression and promotion at Google is based on move-the-needle launches. This is very similar to what happened at Twitch, by the way. This is a similar thing that happened at Twitch. Basically, the only way to get promoted at a company like this is to launch something. You have to launch a product. It doesn't really matter what the product is. It doesn't matter if you support it after the launch. It doesn't matter if anyone uses it. You have to launch. So they called it LPA, which is Launch Promo Abandoned. They use it internally. Internally, we call it the LPA cycle. So you'll launch, then put the launch in your pro package, get promoted, and then leave. Move on to something else. You'll see an immediate slowdown in development after it launches. It's because all the experienced and ambitious engineers leave the product very shortly after launch because there's no promo food to get anymore. So they leave for a new project or team where they can get more credits towards promo. People that remain are those that cannot easily transfer teams, inexperienced, or just bad engineers. You see this all the time with Google products. Rapid development activities on the launch, and then everything grinds to a halt. And yeah, I remember Google Glasses, tons of stuff. Tons of Google stuff just launches. Google Plus. Google Plus was dead on arrival, dude. This is kind of like what Valve did too with Artifact, and Twitch did it for a million different things. At Twitch, it was very well known that the best way to get a promotion was to launch a product and then just say it was doing well for a week, get promoted, and then fucking dip. Yeah, Twitch Games Launcher, the Twitch desktop app, the Twitch Facebook newsfeed thing they had, Pulse. Twitch has launched a dozen products that have all had no usage and they died. And everyone in them got promoted. And you know what? I didn't understand this when I worked there. It's taken me a while to get this because I was a rookie, you know? I was a young gun. And I remember being in a meeting where I was with Jaywitz, who's a Nintendo YouTuber who worked at Twitch at the time. And we were talking to the product team, and they were showing us, I'm trying to remember exactly what the product was. It was so bad. I don't remember it. Oh my God. What was it? It was like, I don't know. It was some thing that I think, dude, I don't remember. It was such a bad fucking product. Killed by Google.com. Anyway, whatever. The product was bad. And Jaywitz immediately says, hey, I stream on Twitch and I'm also a YouTuber. I'm a content creator. I wasn't at the time. And he goes, I don't think we'll ever use this. This seems like a lot of work. Seems like a pain in the ass. And the project manager was being so defensive. And theoretically, she had called us in that room for feedback. Like the point of the meeting was to give feedback, and they were giving feedback in a nice way, saying this is not going to work, this is not going to work, like this is what you might try. But they didn't want to actually change anything. And so what it turned out was the entire meeting was basically to rubber stamp the idea to say they looked for feedback so they could launch it next week so that person could hit their promotion timeline before their fucking performance review. It was legitimately like the entire thing was fake. The whole meeting was fake. The feedback was fake. The presentation was fake. They had no intention of slowing down. They had already locked the launch timeline. So there was nothing they could actually change. And I remember really being demoralized by that. It really threw me off because what the fuck? What a total waste of everybody's time. So that's happened at Google, and it's happened especially bad at Stadia. Stadia has completely collapsed. Now, while Stadia is refunding stuff, there is some bad knock-on effects. Number one, game developers are freaking out because Google did not tell them. Mike Rose here said, oh my God, we have a game coming to Stadia in November. Who wants to guess that Google will refuse to pay us the money they owe us for it? Developers who are building for Stadia are completely fucked. And again, Google didn't tell anybody. So they're halfway through a product that has no rollout plan and no way to get paid or sell any copies. Secondly, this happened here. Tangle Tower from Tom Vian was due to launch on Stadia in 2 days' time, and this article was the first I heard about it shutting down. So not a perfect rollout of this cancellation. Hopefully, they can port it over to other cloud gaming services or something and still get money, but I have no idea how the contract works. They could be totally lost in limbo the way that like HBO movies were. Could be an L. And then the real saddest thing of all, though, was not that anyone lost money, but that this hero cowboy lost time. Because this RDR2 fan who played 6,000 hours of Red Dead on Stadia is begging on his hands and knees for a character transfer. This is the biggest fail of the day. If Stadia does not get his cowboy out of there, this man has lost more hours than I played on Hitman. 6,000 hours of Stadia. This guy was like the most active Stadia user of all time. Please, Rockstar, not Rockstar. I guess Rockstar, yeah. Please, Rockstar, have a heart. Please, Google, work with Rockstar. Make this happen. Get this man his character. No, you don't understand how seriously pissed off I am. What's funny? 6,000 hours, half the achievements. Bro, yeah, these guys obviously one of the leaders of the Reaper Lords. The Reaper Lords need their fucking leader. Please get him his character. Okay. Now, does that cover it? Yeah, let's drop this. Okay, so I want to give a quick covering of what the hell's going on in the UK. I'll make this quick because it's kind of complicated, but you guys may notice that of all economies in the world that are doing badly right now, the UK is doing a little bit worse. They basically almost had their own Lehman Brothers moment. Recently, having some big currency disasters, and their Prime Minister Liz Truss is not really handling it that well. Basically, if you were to sum it up, the Bank of England right now, after all, why not? Why shouldn't we print more money? Basically, the entire world has agreed that after years and years and years of low interest rates and printing money, we kind of have to stop because inflation's getting out of control. And so everybody else is tampering down, cutting back, quantitative tightening, and raising interest rates. And England is not liking the effects of that because when you do that, it does slow down the economy. And England does not want to have this happen, especially with a new prime minister. So they started off by trying to do like 45 billion pounds of tax cuts for the rich. And doing that at the same time as you try to raise interest rates sends very mixed signals to the market, and it freaks out, which was causing big shocks in the UK. Specifically, it was causing a lot of their massive pension funds to look like they might go under. And, if everyone in the UK loses their pension all at once, it's going to be a big fucking disaster. So I'll follow up on this. But what was nice is after the massive public backlash and freaking out by the markets, we saw a rare event. And that was the very first Notes app apology by a national bank. They literally dropped a "we get it and we have listened" YouTuber style twit longer apology to fix their growth plan. The abolition of the 45p tax rate has become a distraction from our overriding mission to tackle the challenges facing our country. We are not proceeding with so they're going to keep the taxes as are. We get it and we have listened. We live in a fantasy world, dude. This is crazy. Things are changing. So we'll see. So far, this did calm the markets in the UK, but everything is looking a little bit on edge, including a story on Credit Suisse, which I'll follow up on, but not today. And finally, I want to close our geopolitics segment with a return of a classic. You know it. You love it. Everyone sing along with the leader of China, Premier Xi Jinping.
What's that, Beijing?
What's up, Beijing, baby? What's going on in China? We haven't talked about it in a while because the news in Europe has been so distracting. But I want to talk about what's happening in China. And that is, first of all, the reappearance of Xi Jinping. He's back. Wait. I subscribe to this, so. He made it. There was a persistent rumor that he had disappeared or was being held under house arrest or in some way was being silent cooed. But he has reappeared. He is in good spirits. He is back, and he is ready to win a third 5-year term as the leader of China, an unprecedented 5-year term. Again, until recently, the max a premier could serve or a president could serve in China was 10 years. He has abolished term limits and is about to win re-election for a third 5-year term. And who knows, maybe even 5 more years after that. Well, I'm excited. to see where that goes. That being said, it is also coinciding with some pretty bad news economically. China is set to fall behind the rest of Asia in terms of growth for the first time since 1990. China has been the dominant force in Asian economies, and it will remain the biggest by far, but is slowing down dramatically due to primarily two reasons. Again, slowing, not collapsing completely. Not 30 days left, but slowing due to two reasons. Number one, COVID-0 is being a real pain in the ass for China, a real problem. They're locking down everything all the time. I was reading a pretty interesting article about how it's become basically a fact of life over there. People are just so used to constant lockdowns and constant checks that they've developed like weird habits around it. Like, a common thing to do over there is to get yesterday's green signal, like of a test on your phone, and then just flash it at a lazy guard to get past. They don't check that it's today's or not. Just flash. COVID-0 is not a nuke for COVID. COVID-0 is their is the policy in China to have 0 cases of COVID, which means they have to lock down an entire city at the sign of even the first case of COVID. They have mandatory QR codes you have to scan at every place you go so they can contact trace, and they have mandatory testing at all places of business. So it's an extremely nationwide. There's testing places like every I don't know, every few blocks. Isn't that impossible with tourism? Tourists are required to quarantine for 2 weeks after landing, at their own expense in a hotel. So there's actually a pretty dramatic fall in tourism. It's a pretty strict lockdown, and it's been very tough to maintain. And China's been demanding they maintain it, which has been really slowing down their economic progress because factories are getting shut down left and right and all of that. So it's been bad for their economy. The second thing is that, of course, they've had a massive collapse in their property sector. China's real estate values are plummeting, and many real estate developers are going under. So those two things combined are really slowing the economy. But again, it's not going to collapse. That being said, the bigger deal is that a lot of companies who were making there should be some news. Where is this? Yeah, here it is. 8 days ago. This is probably the biggest news. Apple has moved a ton of its iPhone manufacturing from China to India recently. And this is a larger trend because there's a brewing conflict, or at least standoff, Cold War, between the United States and China. Companies that do business globally are getting more scared of having all of their production based in one country. And so they're looking for other East Asian manufacturing that can still maintain their current supply chain routes without being too dependent on, China lockdowns or a conflict with America or tariffs or anything like that. So India is one of the biggest beneficiary. In fact, India's economy is doing one of the best of anyone in this post-COVID environment. India is seeing a good amount of growth and wage growth, job growth, and production. So pretty interesting. Rise of India. That, ladies and gentlemen, is the wins and fails. That was What's Up Beijing, and that's what's going on in the world of marketing and business. Thank you for watching Marketing Monday. Wait, did I have one more goofy one? Oh yeah, yeah, I had one more. Wait, one more fail. R.I.P. Bozo to the yard. R.I.P. Bozo to the yard and all these fucking podcasts, dude. Turns out half these podcasts are buying listeners through mobile game ads. It turns out, as part of a business strategy, people were buying incredibly cheap mobile game ad plays, basically downloads that nobody's hearing for more than seconds. You play a mobile game and it downloads a podcast in the background and plays it. It counts as a listen. And then these podcasters are going to brands and saying, look, I have millions of listeners. Give me a sponsorship. And they're doing it. And there's no way to verify. So there's a massive amount of podcast fraud going on. Just there are kids playing Flappy Bird. It plays the whole podcast. It plays enough to count as a listen. So infinite money glitch. Pretty smart. Yeah. Pretty smart until all advertisers get scared and pull out a podcast altogether. And that is that. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching Wins and Fails. I do appreciate it. Check out public.com again for supporting its content. And now we can sort of chill for a bit. Uh-oh. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. We could play a little Railbound. We could watch the Salmonella vid. We are not going to do a Popathon 2.0. We could watch Shark Tank. Actually, why didn't we ever upload that Shark Tank video? One second. Let me turn on the air in here. I'm getting sweaty, dude. All this marketing is working up a sweat. Chef Cat, Chevy Cat, Chef Cat, Chevy Cat. He's Chevy Cat. He's a cute old cat. He's a very sweet cat. He's Chevy Cat. Chevy Cat. He don't want to be here though. He don't really like it. Chevy, say hi. He's like, you know what he hates? Mondays. If I'll be honest with you, hates Mondays. Hates Mondays. Loves lasagna. I don't know if that's relatable or what, but is that Chris Pratt? My cat? No, my cat is not Chris Pratt. That's what you're asking. Did you hear North Korea launched a missile over Japan? Yeah, thank God it didn't hit. React to this. All right, we can watch Salmonella. I think Salmonella would be a good one to watch because I don't have a Shark Tank queued. Let's watch Sam O'Nella. Brand new video, Salmonella Academy. It's called Where Animals' Scientific Names Come From, which is pretty funny because we've got a cat right here, which is an animal, which all ties in. Oh, and it's perfect length, too. Let's see. Salmonella Academy. Let's watch it. Can we get snackies? I already got my snackies. You should have thought of that when I was getting my snackies.
Hey kids, I just woke up from a nap I took in January of 2020, and boy are my arms tired. Let's see what I missed.
When you last uploaded?
Queen's dead, war in Ukraine, the Taliban's back. What is... Holy shit. They made a movie called Scoob. Unprecedented global pandemic, Space Jam 2.
He doesn't even mention that they didn't make a movie called Scoob Holiday Haunt. Excuse me? That's the bigger story. They canceled a movie called Scoob Holiday Haunt.
Some popular guy named Brandon. Yep, that just about covers it. Anyway, we all know about the scientific names of animals, but did you ever wonder what they actually mean? To find out, we must look to taxonomists. They're the guys responsible for the systems of nomenclature we use to classify organisms, and boy are they convoluted.
He's a big fan.
First you got the
big
big eight: domain, kingdom, phylum, class, order, family, genus, species. I've seen plenty of mnemonic devices for this, but since the D just showed up in the 90s and is still disputed by some scientists, he's usually not included. So allow me to suggest a few. Dizzy kids puke cereal on fairground staff. Dumb kittens pushing cups over feeds growing spite. Donkey Kong's fucking serendipitously. The way this whole thing works differs slightly depending on which kingdom you pick. So today we'll be sticking to the animal one, cause that one's the coolest and I'm in it. So what constitutes each taxon is pretty arbitrary. They basically just serve to act as another set of branches in the tree that taxonomists build. The one exception is species, which is generally defined as any group of animals that can have babies with each other that aren't sterile freaks. Mule, liger, zedonk, skunk ape, they can live fulfilling lives, but they're all shooting blanks, so they don't count. On the other hand, in our innumerable trespasses against God, we can make things like Chidane.
I'm sorry, those are real? Ligers are real? Like a lion and a tiger can have a baby called a liger? And they just can't have another baby? That's a real thing? Ligers are real. Liger. A liger is a hybrid offspring of a male lion and a female tiger. Wow, it's real. There's even tigons. Wait, a liger is the male lion and the tigon is what, like the male tiger? Whoa! That's crazy. I literally didn't know this was even possible. I didn't think different species could have babies.
Which actually work, so dogs are dogs are dogs. Besides species though, it's the Wild West in here. Plenty of times, 8 tiers isn't even enough for scientists, so they just stick new sub-levels.
Wait, mules are this? Mule's not a separate species? What is a mule? A monkey and a ghoul? Like a ghost has sex with a monkey and that's where a mule comes from? That's crazy. And you guys all agree with that? That's what it is? It is a monkey ghoul situation? Wow. You learn something every day. Thank you, guys.
Levels in between. Legions, cohorts, tribes, series, divisions, and if you want to keep going, you can throw all kinds of prefixes on any of these for even more layers. There's even subspecies, which the more pedantic of you may think to yourselves that creating names for subspecies at all kind of undermines the single somewhat agreed upon definition in the whole tree. To that, my friends taxonomists say, But while that's pretty complex, the actual names themselves are pretty easy to wrap your head around. Though taxonomists may hide behind their fancy Greek and Latin, the Vulgate is no substitute for wit. Now, I've scraped through the scientific names of a load of species, and most of them can be split into a few categories. The simplest ones are the animals that already have names in Greek or Latin. It's a lion, I'm calling it Leo. Done. Tiger, it's a tigris. Cat, it's a caddis. Easy. Multi-word names can be translated the same way. For the golden eagle, we got Aquila chrysaetos. Gold eagle eagle. They decided to be a show-off and do eagle in Greek and Latin. Essentially the same though. But if a species is too specific or exotic for a one-to-one translation, that's when you gotta get a little creative. A lot of the time, inspiration comes from just giving the creature the old once-over and pointing out some cool-looking body part. Generally, the more distinctive an identifying feature it is, the more likely it'll get in the name. For example, Homeboy took one look at this thing and said, "Yup, red triangle slug. I'm going on break." We call this thing a fucking unicorn, almost like that means one horn or something. Also, some guy deadass looked at an octopus and said, "Well, all they got is heads and feet. I'ma call them headfoot." And now biologists everywhere say cephalopod unironically. Matter of fact, if it's got feet, chances are that's part of its name somewhere.
Headfoot? That's crazy. I actually didn't know.
You got 4 feet, 6 feet.
It's so much
feet,
less fancy than I thought. All this stuff is way less fancy than I thought.
2 feet, equal feet, both feet, double feet, stomach feet, lip feet, sucker feet, wing feet, big feet, slow feet, or feet, both feet, joint feet, no feet, 10,000 feet, cow's feet, spade feet, cat feet, small feet. If it doesn't look that interesting, another thing to point out is where you found it. This could be a territory like American bear or Siamese crocodile, or just a habitat like woods macaque or toilet rat. But that's boring. We need to look at the men behind the map.
What was the point of this? What is the point of having a separate name in Latin for everything? It doesn't accomplish anything. It just sounds fancier. Tradition? Scientific classification. But you can classify them in your fucking native tongue. You could just say it's the American bear.
American bear or Siamese crocodile, or just a habitat like woods macaque or toilet rat. But that's boring. We need to look at the men behind the magic and what drives and motivates them. Now, if there's one thing that the scientific community loves, it's clout. And there's no better way to go down in history than plastering your own name on some shit you found. But not all fields have the same volume of things to scribble the old John Hancock over. On the one end, you got physicists just making up their own slightly different form of ionizing radiation measurement. And even then, only the top dogs got away with it. Now, zoology, any little goober flouncing through the underbrush can say, this one has 13 spots, but the one in the book's only got 11. I will call him Splinkus's ladybird. Alternatively, plenty of biologists have given shout-outs to their contemporaries, both other biologists and those across the academic gamut, from geologists to physicists to explorers and more. Naturally, Darwin's got a shitload, but even the background characters get immortalized one way or another. Who are Thomson, Grant, Summering, Erlanger, Speke, and Cuvier? I don't know, but they've all got gazelles, so they must be pretty cool. Of course, other times, the name checks go to people who had fuck all to do with anything except for one taxonomist being a fan of theirs. Plenty of popular celebrities have species named after them, but since all the big cute stuff was found and branded a while ago, most of these idols are commemorated through repulsive little invertebrates. You got Scaptia, Beyonce. The only similarity I can gather here is Queen Bee. Looks like a bee, but
wait, how does that fucking? There's no like authoritative body. Is it literally finders keepers? Like the first person to write about it gets to name it? Is that how that works? You find a fucking bee and you can name it Beyonce? You find it, you name it. Wouldn't there be like a global... Damn, I guess I was really underinformed in this area because all of this is kind of shocking me. I thought it was way fancier. I picture like the world's best scientists in like a big fancy library. And they all debate upon it and then come upon a name that made sense in Latin. And I guess that's not how it went at all.
There's Anomphilus gregarius, an old stone named after an old stone. In 2007, one Jason Bond, a professor of biology at UC Davis, dubbed this little dude Myrmecia Neil Youngie to honor his favorite musician, which caused my man Stephen Colbert to go on TV and profess his utter indignation at not having a spider named after himself. So naturally, the next year, Bond actually went on the Colbert Report to announce the naming of apostachus Stephen Colbert. So, if that gives any of you epic biologists out there any ideas, you know, I wouldn't be opposed. Please, I would do anything. For the love of God, I'll even take a lichen. The world of politics is by no means immune to this.
So what are you guys fucking lazy for? You guys haven't found one species of cow that you can name the coffee cow? You guys can't find one fucking... You can't find one fucking thing out there that we can name after the stream? There's a Germa. Wait, someone said there's a Germa one? Germa literally has a thing? There's a bacteria named after Germa? That's crazy. It's a mean thing to call Ludwig, dude. Just because he copied Germa early on does not mean he's a bacteria, dude. That's fucked up.
Phenomenon. Obama alone has fucking 9, as do a load of other presidents. Trump's got a moth with funny hair, Bush has a fungus beetle, Reagan's a wasp, Carter's got a darter, and so forth. Even Austria's most famous painter got the honor through this blind cave beetle. Mind you, it was 1933, so you can only blame the guy a tiny bit. Hitler actually wrote him a letter saying, "Oh, thank you, my little entomolomensch," and then went on to do, Hitler things. Fun fact, not only was this beetle stuck with just about the worst name you could have, it's also now facing extinction solely because of its value to Nazi memorabilia collectors. Guess old habits die hard. Fictional characters have their fair share of species under their belt. On the topic of evil beetles, this one's named after Darth Vader because he kind of looks like his helmet, I guess. This was actually named by the same guy who did the Bush one and belongs to the same genus. There's also this mite, genus Darth Vaderum, which is a lot more accurate and frightening. In 2012, a single bone from above the eye socket of a hitherto unidentified theropod dinosaur was being studied. And suddenly, under the light of the full moon, the guy working with the specimen had his neck covered with hair and his lips clenched into a pog and his endocrine system filled with sores. soy, and he said, "It's just like the eye of Sauron." And then he started chewing on Funko Pops and sweating cream of meme and snorting G Fuel and shitting D20s everywhere until the prostate stimulation made him. The dino's genus is now Sauroniops, from Eye of Sauron. This spider was named after Godric Gryffindor because it looks like the Sorting Hat. SpongeBob has not a sponge, but a fungus. The legendary birds from Pokemon each have their own, you guessed it, beetle, and the list goes on. Scientists are nerds. Who knew? Anyway, while this all seems kind of chaotic, there is some method to the madness. One rule is the principle of priority. This states that once somebody publishes their chosen name for a species for the first time, that's the name, and other taxonomists typically can't change it. This has led to plenty of misnomers coined by whoever got their foot in the door first, particularly in the case of the guys doing this stuff before we had the luxury of genetic analysis. Here's one. Red panda? Nah. Shining cat, coined in 1825. To be fair, they're actually about as close to cats as they are to actual pandas, so whatever. Here's two. Capsicum chinense. Eaten there? Sure. Native? Only off by around half a globe, where literally all hot peppers came from. This principle holds true even if someone thinks they found a new species, only to later discover that it was already named. For example, in 1824, one John Edward Gray documented the plain zebra, calling it Equus burchellii, or Burchell's horse, named after a renowned naturalist of the day. Little did he know, back in 1785, some other douche classified this character as the quagga. The last quagga died in a Dutch prison in 1883. So, why do we care? Well, in the 2000s, scientists decided to scrape some gunk off a dry quagga pelt and study its DNA. And from that they realized, wait a minute, apparently this guy and zebras could have, made a little plaid in the hay together. So technically they're one species. And today they're both called quagga. Sounds kinda asinine, but then again so does asinus, and that worked out fine. Just to maintain the distinction, the extinct subspecies was renamed quagga quagga, so you know it's the real quagga. This double naming convention has been done with a lot of subspecies, in fact. Wild horse, spotted panther.
This is dumb. Wait, this is dumb. This whole thing is dumb. Why do we do it like this? This is all really stupid. This is how we fucking classify animals across the globe? This is dumb. Why I'm losing my faith.
Favorite, gorilla. Just like, yeah, it's the grillest gorilla that ever gorilled. Fuck you want from me. A closely related rule also states that the names of all taxa have to be unique. So if two people coincidentally name any taxa on the same thing, the older one gets to stay and the new one gets the boot. Like if you saw a genus called echidna, you'd think it was, an echidna, right? Well, no, that'd make too much sense. For a while it was true, from 1797 to 1811. Then it was pointed out that someone else already called a genus of moray eels echidna back in 1788. So the real echidna had to be changed to Tachyglossus, or
that's
quick
dumb!
Then a decade later, a dude did the same thing for a genus of vipers. Another 22 years passed, people discovered the same thing, and they were renamed to Bitis, cause they bit us. That one at least made a bit of sense, given that the original echidna from Greek mythology was half lady, half snake, but who cares at this point? Anyway, I've just barely scraped the surface of all the goofy names out there, so feel free to post more down below. That's all I've got for now. Till next time, I'm Salmonella, and I'll see ya in 20...
Thanks, Salmonella. You shook my faith in the entire fucking scientific system. I love how your videos are both professional and poorly made. That's not that much of a compliment, bro. I thought it was pretty well made. You missed the last one? Wait.
2025. Don't say it, don't think it, don't say it, don't think it.
I will find a cow that can be milked for its coffee. Go do that. No, go search for that. That's a good use of your time. Go search for a cow that can be milked for its coffee. I wish you the best of luck. Quit your job, quit school, leave your parents, and go search for that. Germa clip. Let me see the Germa clip. Germa. His name, dude. Germa was getting like 30K viewers or something playing Breath of the Wild. Apparently, it's like the most funny Breath of the Wild player playthrough.
I have something really cool to share. This is by somebody in the community. Are they comfortable with me sharing their name? I don't want to share their name if they're not comfortable.
I wish it was a highlight VOD. I'd love to watch a highlight VOD.
They discovered a new way of isolating viruses that kill antibiotic-resistant bacteria. Somebody in this community. And the first one I discovered using this method, I named after Germa. But this is apparently it fucking working.
That's kind of hype.
Like against bacteria, antibiotic bacteria resistant shit.
That's cool.
This is real.
So it fights germs.
No, this is not a kid in high school biology. All right, stop saying that. This is like a fucking doctor scientist. But
Yeah.
no,
I wouldn't believe it. Maybe for German's community, I'll believe it. If you guys told me this, I would have assumed you took a picture with a Sharpie in a class you were bored in. But maybe I'll believe it. Hey, chat. I think that's it for tonight. I do think, well, I don't want to, I probably won't. I probably won't have, the Toys R Us Marketing Monday done for tomorrow. I want it to be good. I spent some time on it. I think it'll take more time. But if I do, I'll do it tomorrow. If not, I'll push it till next week. I'm building a satellite and got free real estate. What meme would you want on there? I would want you to put some sort of way to autoplay my stream in space so that if aliens pick up the satellite, I will get more likes on my videos. Let's raid somebody and pass along the love. Thanks again for watching tonight. It was pretty fun.